So, with Star Wars Celebration going on, and to celebrate the premiere of Obi-Wan, I did a poll on Patreon, which you guys can join in. If you want to join in on polls and whatever, just hit the link below, head on over to Patreon. Shameless plug. I asked what Star Wars-centric thing I should do, and this won by a landslide. Top 10 favorite lightsaber duels in Star Wars. As always, if you think something should be higher or lower on the list, that's totally fine. I'm always open to hearing your guys' lists, as always. This is just my personal list, and if you think it should be higher or lower on the list, that's totally fine. I'm always excited to hear yours. So, a few ground rules. These fights have to be between people with lightsabers. It can't be like someone using a different weapon, the other one using a lightsaber. So, like, the fight between Gideon and Din Djarin in Mandalorian is out. Like, fights like that. So that's kind of the only one was prerequisite. And also, I'm not including video game or comic book fights, too. This is from, like, the show, like, actual animated or live-action media. So, comic books, video games, that's out. Anyway, so let's get to it. A lot of these are in canon, and, one isn't. Like, there's one fight in here that isn't in canon. So, let's get started. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is Vader versus Kanan and Ezra from Star Wars Rebels. This one is more, not so much a fight as it is Vader going, bitch please. That's the whole fight in general, is just Vader going, bitch please, the entire match. I was very close to putting the final battle between Kanan and the Grand Inquisitor in here, but I decided it made more sense to have Vader here because it's nice to show why Vader is scary, like why Vader is such an imposing opponent to most people, why he's feared among the remaining Jedi, and I like to see that. It was a perfect example also when Cal faced him in Fallen Order. He was like a monster from a nightmare. And here, like, Kanan and Ezra are kind of riding high, like, yeah, we can beat Inquisitors, so we think we can beat him, and then it's an actual Sith Lord, and they get their asses handed to them big time. That's what I like to see, is, like, Vader being being treated as this unstoppable force that you just can't beat. So, I like that. I like this whole duel. Like I said, it's just Vader going, bitch please. So, yeah. Next up at number 9, we have Ahsoka versus Darth Maul from Clone Wars. This one is such a beautiful fight on so many levels. First off, I love that it's motion capture featuring Ray Park reprising the role, basically, to do the motion capture for Maul in the fight. It was very beautifully done. It was very nice to have Ray Park come back and do that. It also has a lot of gravity, because here are the two most damaged characters. Well, two of the most damaged characters from both the light and the dark caused by this war, not named Anakin Skywalker, and they are literally in the ashes of the Republic, soon become the Empire. The whole world has gone, the whole galaxy's gone to hell, and here they are ready to fight for essentially nothing. Like, there's nothing here to fight for anymore. It's just it's just them clashing over dead ideals. It's pretty horrifying and very depressing. It's a very haunting battle as it is exciting. We get to see how far these characters have come for both of them. We get to see how strong they've become. And yeah, or rather, like in Maul's case, decreased in strength, but we see how strong Ahsoka's come. And those haunting last lines of "we are all going to burn" it's pretty haunting. It's pretty terrifying. Like, it's because you know what's coming next. That's the scary part. You know what's going to happen next. So yeah, at number 9, Ahsoka versus Maul. Don't worry, that ain't going to be the last time we're going to see Maul on this list. Trust me. Next up, we have Sidious versus Maul and Savage, also from Clone Wars, at number 8. This is kind of like the Vader versus Kanan and Ezra fight, but turned up to like 90. Or 100, actually, because if you thought Vader was just messing around with Kanan and Ezra, literally, that pales in comparison to Sidious battling his former apprentice and his brother. It was literally, you could see it on Palpatine's face. That shit-eating grin is him just playing with his food. He is literally tearing ass through the two of them. It's not even a matchup. It's more like a cat playing with his food. It's scary. It shows how powerful Palpatine is. And we get to see his other lightsaber that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was Plagueis' lightsaber. Because if you guys remember... fucking COVID hanging over me like a goddamn noose. Anyway, like I was saying, if you guys remember in the book of the Plagueis book, Palpatine, after he killed Plagueis, took his lightsaber. So that would explain why he had two lightsabers, and also why he had an extra one when Windu knocked it out of his hand. I was close to putting Palpatine fighting Mace, but some other things beat it out. I will say it gets an honorable mention. Like I said, getting back to this matchup, this is a fight that it's evil on evil, and the greater evil is just clearly trounces Maul. It's also very scary when Maul's begging just to, for mercy, not let me go or just kill me, because he knows what Palpatine is capable of, and just unleashing that evil on him. So that's even more horrifying when you think about it. So yeah. Let's move on now to that was number 8. Moving on now to number 7. I got it all written down, so I'm just looking. So, number 7. This is the only non-canon one we have in here. Grievous versus Ki-Adi-Mundi. I have trouble pronouncing the name. Shakti, Aayla Secura, and a ton of other Jedi on the Battle of Hypori. This was I think we can all collectively agree, this is the thing that we all remember most from the Gennady Tartakovsky miniseries, was how scary Grievous was. In this fight alone, it made us go, holy shit, Grievous is awesome, and then we got to the actual Clone Wars series, which, yeah. But Grievous is like a monster from a nightmare in this story. He's like a slasher villain, just picking Jedi off left and right. He's imposing, he's terrifying. It's not so much a fight as it is a massacre. And considering the fates of the 3 Jedi Masters here, the 2 Jedi Masters and the Jedi Knight, it was probably best if Vader did kill them. I mean, not Vader, Grievous did kill them here, all things considered. So, yeah. This one was definitely going to be on my list in some capacity, so there you go at number 7. So, reaching the halfway point, we have, at number 6, Sidious versus Yoda. This fight is very much... Sidious versus Yoda is very much a fight that is pretty much, let's have the 2 most powerful characters throw chairs at each other. That's literally all the fight is watching the 2 most powerful characters just fight and revenge the Sith. It's dumb, but at the same time it works, of watching Palpatine and Yoda, 2 characters that you'd always wanted to see fight, finally get to fight. It's almost like something out of a fan fiction, but no, it's actually it's actually canon, and also it's actually very well done. It's almost like, shut your brain off, this is awesome, shut up, this is pretty cool. That's what goes through your brain while watching this matchup, of watching these 2 characters just fight. So yeah. Moving on to our number 5. We now hit the top 5. This is one I'm pretty sure a lot of people were expecting to be on this list in some capacity. And that is none other than Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul from Phantom Menace. Did you think this fight was not going to be on this list? No, really. Did you really think that I was not going to include probably the one thing everyone remembers from Phantom Menace? Literally everyone remembers that. Also, I'm going to say a really hot take, so be prepared. I believe that I, honest to God, believe that John Williams' best work is in the prequel series, not the original trilogy. Not to say the original trilogy music is bad, but like I listen like the prequel trilogy is music by John Williams is like he took everything that was good about the original trilogy and then applied it to to the prequel trilogy. I think it's a masterpiece, and yeah. Why do I say that? One of the reasons is dun 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 dun. When you hear that, your blood just gets pumping, and I'm pretty sure, I guarantee you that we're probably more than likely going to hear that in some way, shape, or form. We're going to hear Duel of Fates and Obi-Wan. And I bet you it's going to be the battle between Vader and Obi-Wan. When we get to the final fight, we're probably going to hear Duel of the Fates mixed with Battle of the Heroes again. I am 95% sure of that. But yeah, getting back to this, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Maul. This is one of the best choreographed fights. We get to see Jedi jump around, we get to see them move fast, and we get the dual lightsaber. It's awesome, and it's one of those ones that made us go, wow, this is pretty fucking cool. Like it makes my monkey brain all happy. That's really what it is. Anyway, so there you go. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Maul. Moving on now to our number 4, which is Vader versus Luke from Empire Strikes Back. This is a big one. Like this is definitely on everyone's list because this is not so much like I've said before. This one isn't so much a battle as it is Vader kicking the shit out of his son. And there's emotion here. We get to see Luke. This is a big one. This is like a big emotional moment because it's literally Vader fighting who he knows is his son going in for the kill, and Vader's just toying with him. While at the same time, Luke, who's been impetuous, he's been arrogant, he's been ignoring his training. And he thinks with the powers he's learned from Yoda, he believes that he can beat Vader, that he can defeat Vader, and he is thoroughly outclassed in this matchup. And again, who can forget, I am your father? That hits you like a bomb every time. Like, even if you've seen the movie thousands of times, it still hits you like a nuclear bomb. It's an amazing, well choreographed fight. There's emotional weight to it. And yeah, it's a major highlight of Empire Strikes Back, so yeah. So moving on now to number 3 is Obi-Wan versus Maul from Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, and a Rebels show is very high up on here. So why did I put Obi-Wan and Maul's fight on here when I know it's not the longest fight ever? It's not even a long fight. It's just boom, boom, boom. Done. Well, there's such the emotional weight. Here we have Maul, who has literally got nothing left other than killing Obi-Wan. His brother's gone. His crime syndicate's gone. Everything that he is built for has been destroyed, and all he has left is his vengeance, and he's been consumed by it. There is nothing else on his mind other than his revenge, and that's all he wants. Then we have Obi-Wan, who has lost so much, but he is still grateful, he is humble, and shown how powerful he is. I'm also a sucker for this fight alone feels very Akira Kurosawa, and I'm a big fan of those movies, so it's very much like Jedi, who are like samurais. It plays like a samurai battle, and it shows the amount of how far Maul has fallen and how powerful Obi-Wan has become. Look, and he even says it, like, in the fight, look what I have risen above. Like, that alone just says everything. When the moment, and Obi-Wan was trying to de-escalate the fight the whole time, but the moment he says, "You're protecting someone," no, someone. Boom! Then he strikes the lightsaber. He didn't even have it out, but the moment Maul figures out he's talking about Luke, then he has to go into the battle. And how Obi-Wan presents that fight is amazing. He just draws him in, and that's the end of Maul. Please let it stay the end of Maul. That was a beautiful death. Don't ruin it, Star Wars. I know you have a thing for bringing back legacy characters. Not this time. So, let's talk about our second fight. Anakin versus Obi-Wan, Revenge of the Sith. Not gonna lie, this was a fight I was considering to put as my number one, but then I kind of thought about the other one. I was like, yeah, that's the number one. This has such emotional weight and is literally one of the best lightsaber fights ever. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, but it took too long. Why is it dragging on?" Because for the longest time, this was probably the last Star Wars movie we were ever gonna get. Not excluding the Clone Wars animated film. Less said about that, the better. But I digress. Point being is that this was probably the last lightsaber fight a lot of us thought we were gonna get. So Lucas was like, "Fuck it, let's just go all out," and he did. Trust me, he did. This is a beautifully shot fight. You can feel it's a battle between brothers. It's the fall of Anakin Skywalker and the fall of the Jedi Order. It's the end of everything. And it felt like the end of Star Wars. It's climactic, it's brutal, and yeah, I think it's one of the best lightsaber fights ever. It's a war between brothers, and you feel that. But there is one who took its place. There was a number one fight that took its place. And that is Vader versus Luke from Return of the Jedi. Why is this fight my number one lightsaber fight? Because this is what it all comes down to. This is another thing of, like, there's a finale. It's a finale to a trilogy. This is the last battle that Luke and Vader will have. This is a battle, because before, in Empire Strikes Back, it was a battle between a man fighting his son, but his son didn't know it was him. This time, it's father and son trying to kill each other. And he's trying to save his father. This is Luke at the peak of his power, coming into what he is, a true Jedi, to battle and save his father. But he is still fallible to the dark side. He is still capable of falling into that entrapment of the dark side. This is the epitome of everything that Star Wars is in this battle, in my opinion, between Vader and Luke. So, there you go, my number one fight. But yeah, like I said, if you think a fight that is on here should be higher or lower on the list, that's totally fine. No ill will. I'm always curious to see where you guys rank the fights, or I'm always curious. So you guys tell me in the comments below. What are your top 10 lightsaber fights? Just comment below, let me know. And as always, if you would like to have like a video request done, or join in the polls like this one was voted for, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon. Other than that, I am Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.